Hi guys, it's Miss Karen, the Young Adult Librarian at the Goshen Public Library. And I'm back with a brand new box of books. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but here it is. So let's see what's going to hit the shelves this week. Excited? It's a pretty big box, so hopefully it's got some good stuff in it. Alright. First book in our new box is Luck of the Titanic by Stacey Lee. This is historical fiction, I'm guessing, if it's a Titanic book. So let's see what we've got. Valora Luck has two things: a ticket for the biggest and most luxurious ocean liner in the world, and a dream of leaving England behind and making a life for herself as a circus performer in New York. Much to her surprise, though, she's turned away at the gangway. Apparently, Chinese people aren't allowed in America. But Val has to get on that ship. Her twin brother Jamie, who has spent 2 long years at sea, is on board, as is an influential circus owner. Thankfully, there's not much a trained acrobat like Val can't overcome when she puts her mind to it. As a stowaway, Val should keep her head down and stay out of sight. But the clock is ticking, and she has just 7 days as the ship makes its way across the Atlantic to find Jamie, audition for the circus owner, and convince him to help get them both into America. Then, one night, the unthinkable happens, and suddenly Val's dreams of a new life are crushed under the weight of the only thing that matters: survival. So this is a different look at the Titanic story. Looks pretty interesting. Luck of the Titanic by Stacey Lee. Next, looks like realistic fiction, Counting Down with You, possibly romance. Let's see. How do you make 1 month last a lifetime? Karina Ahmed has a plan. Keep her head down, get through high school without a fuss, and follow her parents' rules, even if it means sacrificing her dreams. When her parents go abroad to Bangladesh for 4 weeks, Karina expects some peace and quiet. Instead, one simple lie unravels everything. Karina is my girlfriend. Tutoring the school's resident bad boy was already crossing a line. Pretending to date him? Out of the question. But Ace Clyde does everything right. He brings her coffee in the mornings, impresses her friends without trying, and even promises to buy her a dozen books a week if she goes along with his fake dating facade. Though Karina agrees, she can't help but start counting down the days until her parents come back. T-minus 28 days until everything returns to normal. But what if Karina no longer wants it to? So, definitely romance, fake dating, perfect summer read. Counting Down with You by Tashi Buyan. Alright, so next we have The Awakening of Malcolm X by Ilyasa Shabazz with Tiffany G. Jackson. Words have power. The more words you know, the more power you gain. In Charlestown State Prison, Malcolm Little struggles with the weight of his past. Plagued by nightmares while surviving life in a place unfit for humans, Malcolm drifts through his days, picking fights with fellow inmates and avoiding his family. But when he's introduced to the prison library, Malcolm realizes that the key to his freedom was within him all along. Now his dreams are not just reruns of the past, but visions of a more hopeful future. And as his sentence comes to an end, Malcolm begins to awaken. For he is no longer just Malcolm Little, he is Malcolm X. Packed with historical references and never-before-revealed personal details, this new collaboration between Malcolm X's daughter, Ilyasa Shabazz, and critically acclaimed author Tiffany D. Jackson intimately imagines the journey this young man undertook to set himself free. So this is a fictionalized history, but has based on true stories. So, The Awakening of Malcolm X. Alright, next we have Blade of Secrets, looks like fantasy, by Tricia Levenseller. Alright, and let's see what this one's about. 18-year-old Ziva prefers metal to people. She spends her days tucked away in her forge, safe from society and the anxiety it causes her, using her magical gift to craft unique weapons imbued with power. Then Ziva receives a commission from a powerful warlord, and the result is a sword capable of stealing its victim's secrets, a sword that can cut far deeper than the length of its blade, a sword with the strength to topple kingdoms. When Ziva learns of the warlord's intentions to use the weapon to enslave all the world under her rule, she takes her sister and flees. Joined by a distractingly handsome mercenary and a young scholar with extensive knowledge of the world's known magics, Ziva and her sister set out on a quest to keep the sword safe until they can find a worthy wielder or a way to destroy it entirely. So that sounds interesting. A female blacksmith with some magic. Blade of Secrets by Trisha Levenseller. All right, so next we have Two Can Keep a Secret by Karen McManus. Now you may have read One of Us is Lying or One of Us is Next. This is from the same world as that, so it's mystery, I think. Let's see. Ellery's aunt was the first to go missing. Ellery knows all about secrets. Her mother has them. Her grandmother does too, and so does Echo Ridge, the picture-perfect town she was just forced to move to, a place where girls go missing and sometimes wind up dead. Then it was the homecoming queen. Malcolm's life hasn't been the same since his brother Declan's girlfriend was murdered 5 years ago. Declan was this close to being named a suspect in her death, and no one lets Malcolm forget it. Who will be the third? No one wants to talk about the past, but someone's determined to keep Echo Ridge in the headlines. They've declared open season on homecoming and promised to make it as dangerous as it was 5 years ago. And Ellery and Malcolm, they're somehow at the center of it all. So this is a YA thriller. The quote on the back says, a must-read YA thriller if you love Riverdale and sharp objects. If you've read the other ones, you might want to check out Two Can Keep a Secret. If not, you can still read it. It's a thriller set in the same world, but you don't have to read the other ones to enjoy this one. All right. Ooh, next I think we've got a good summer romance. Sunkissed by Casey West, who has lots of romance books in our collection. Let's see what her latest is. Will the Stars Align? Avery has always used music as an escape, but after her best friend betrays her, even her perfectly curated playlists can't help her forget what happened. To make matters worse, her parents have dragged her and her social media-obsessed sister to a remote family camp for 2 months of fun. Just when Avery is ready to give up on summer altogether, she meets Brooks, mysteriously, frustratingly charming Brooks, who just happens to be on staff, which means he's off limits. What starts as a disaster turns into something else. As the outside world falls away, Avery embarks on a journey of self-discovery, and when Brooks offers her the chance of a lifetime, she must figure out how far she is willing to go to find out what she wants and who she wants to be. Fan favorite Casey West is back with another unforgettable summer romance that reminds us falling in love is full of wonder, heartache, and most of all, surprises. So that is Sunkissed by Casey West. All right, let's see what we've got next. Next we have Mr. Impossible by Maggie Stiefvater. Mr. Impossible is the second book in a duology. The first one is Call Down the Hawk. So let's see, I have this one, I think, over here. So I'm going to tell you what Call Down the Hawk is about, so you know if you want to read it. I don't want to spoil anything by telling you what Mr. Impossible is about. The dreamers walk among us, and so do the dreamed. Those who dream cannot stop dreaming. They can only try to control it. Those who are dreamed cannot have their own lives. They will sleep forever if their dreamers die. And then there are those who are drawn to the dreamers, to use them, to trap them, to kill them before their dreams destroy us all. Ronan Lynch is a dreamer. He can pull both curiosities and catastrophes out of his dreams and into his compromised reality. Jordan Hennessy is a thief. The closer she comes to the dream object she is after, the more inextricably she becomes tied to it. Carmen Farouk Lane is a hunter. Her brother was a dreamer and a killer. She has seen what dreaming can do to a person, and she has seen the damage that dreamers can do. But that is nothing compared to the destruction that is about to be unleashed. So that is Call Down the Hawk. The newest one, Mr. Impossible, we have now, so you can read both of them at the same time. These are the first 2 books in the Dreamer trilogy, so there will be a third. All right, let's see what's next. Next we have Dustbourn by Aaron Bowman. Let's see. In the wastes, everything has value, especially secrets. All her life, Delta of Dead River has been told to keep her back hidden. Branded on her skin is a map to the rumored paradise called the Verdant. And in a wasteland plagued by dust squalls, geomagnetic storms, and solar flares, it's a map many would kill for, even if no one can read it. When her family is abducted by raiders, Delta sets out to rescue them and quickly learns that no one in the wastes can be trusted, perhaps not even her childhood friend Asher, who has been missing for nearly a decade. But she'll need Asher's help to decode her map if she wants to find paradise and trade its location to free her family. What Delta doesn't count on is what waits at the Verdant, a long-forgotten secret that will shake the foundation of her entire world. So this is apocalyptic future, science fiction, fantasy, whatever you want to qualify it as, Dustbourn by Aaron Bowman. On the back it says, an unforgettable blend of science fiction, dystopia, and Old West. Dustbourn is one of those stories that stays branded on your heart long after you turn the final page. Prepare to be transported. So that sounds like fun. All right, next we have, Lycanthropy and Other Chronic Illnesses by Kristen O'Neill. So lycanthropy is werewolfism. So let's see what this one's about. Teen wolf meets emergency contact in this debut young adult novel about friendship and the hairy side of chronic illness. Priya worked hard to pursue her pre-med dreams at Stanford, but a diagnosis of chronic Lyme disease during her sophomore year sends her back to a loving but overbearing family in New Jersey and leaves her wondering if she'll ever be able to return to the way things were. Thankfully, she has her online pen pal Bridget and the rest of the members of Oof, Ouch, My Bones, a virtual support group that meets on Discord to crack jokes and vent about their own chronic illnesses. When Bridget suddenly goes offline, Priya does something out of character. She steals the family car and drives to Pennsylvania to check on her friend. Priya isn't sure what to expect, but it isn't the horrifying creature that's shut in the basement. With Bridget nowhere to be found, Priya begins to puzzle together an impossible but obvious truth. The creature might be a werewolf, and the werewolf might be Bridget. As Bridget's unique condition worsens, their friendship will be deepened and challenged in unexpected ways, forcing them to confront their ideas of what it means to be normal. So this is a friendship story, an illness story with a little bit of a twist, as it includes werewolves. Sounds very interesting and probably very good. Lycanthropy and Other Chronic Illnesses by Kristen O'Neill. Next, we have Gilded Serpent by Danielle Jensen. Now, this one is the third in a trilogy. The first two are Dark Shores and Dark Skies. So let's see which one's first, because I want to tell you about that one. Let's see. I'm going to guess Dark Shores is first. Yes, Dark Shores is first. So I'm going to tell you about Dark Shores. And if it sounds interesting, you can read all of them at once. Dark Shores by Danielle Jensen. In a world divided by meddlesome gods and treacherous oceans, only the Mirren possess the knowledge to cross the endless seas. But they have one mandate: East must never meet West. A pirate with a will of iron. Tariana is the second mate of the Quincense. Tariana is the second mate of the Quincense and heir to the Marin triumvirate. Her people are born of the seas and keepers of its secrets, but when her closest friend is forced into an unwanted betrothal, Tariana breaks her people's mandate so her friend might escape, a choice with devastating consequences. Soldier with a secret. Marcus is the commander of the 37th, the notorious legion that has led the Cylinder Empire to conquer the entire East. The legion is his family, but even they don't know the truth he's been hiding since childhood. It's a secret he'll do anything to protect, no matter how much it costs him and the world. A dangerous quest. When an Empire senator discovers the existence of the Dark Shores, he captures Tariana's crew and threatens to reveal Marcus's secret unless they sail in pursuit of conquest, forcing the two into an unlikely and unwilling alliance. They unite for the sake of their families, but both must decide how far they are willing to go and how much they are willing to sacrifice. So that is Dark Shores, the first book. The second one, Dark Skies. And the final one that we just got in, Gilded Serpent. So be sure to check all of them out if you're looking for a good new trilogy to read. Next we have Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter, which looks like romance realistic fiction. Liz Buxbaum has always known that Wes Bennett was not boyfriend material. You would think that her next-door neighbor would be a prime candidate for her romantic comedy fantasies, but Wes has only proven himself to be a pain in the butt, ever since they were little. Wes was the kid who put a frog in her Barbie dream house, the monster who hid a lawn gnome's severed head in her little homemade neighborhood book exchange. Flash forward 10 years from the great gnome decapitation. It's Liz's senior year, a time meant to be rife with milestones perfect for any big screen, and she needs Wes's help. See, Liz's forever crush, Michael, has just moved back to town, and horribly, annoyingly, he's hitting it off with Wes, meaning that if Liz wants Michael to finally notice her and hopefully be her prom date, she needs Wes. He's her in. But as Liz and Wes's scheme to get Liz her magical prom moment, she's shocked to discover that she actually likes being around Wes. And as they continue to grow closer, she must re-examine everything she thought she knew about love and rethink her own perception of what happily ever after should really look like. So this is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. And it sounds like romance, enemies turned love, that kind of thing. So just a fun, quick read for the summer. Next, we have The Great Garden by Meg Rossoff. This is a skinny one, so if you're looking for a short read, maybe check this one out. And Meg Rossoff won the Prince Award for a book called How I Live Now, so you know she's a good author. At the house on the beach, everything is always the same. Summer unspools in days of sticky heat and lazy beach walks. The family only reconvening for lantern-lit suppers in the garden, with the sea a constant roar in the background. Predictable, familiar, and easy. But everything changes with the arrival of the Godden brothers. Kit, magnetic and lazy, and Hugo, intense and unknowable. But by the end of the summer, nothing will be the same. With merciless precision, Prince Award winner Meg Rossoff strikes at the moment when everything shifts and innocence is lost forever. This is The Great Garden by Meg Rossoff. Coming-of-age story, let's see, kids on the cusp of adulthood, that sort of thing. So check that one out if that sounds good to you. All right, we've got one book left in our box, and it is called Fade into the Bright, and it's by Jessica Coused-Edding and Alyssa Embry Schwartz. Looks like realistic fiction, maybe. What would you do for love? Abby needs to escape a life that she no longer recognizes as her own. Her old life, the one where she was a high school volleyball star with a textbook perfect future, has been ripped away. Abby and her sister Brooke have received a letter from their estranged dad informing them that he has Huntington's disease, a fatal degenerative disorder you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. And when the sisters agree to genetic testing, one of them tests positive. Fleeing to Catalina Island for the summer, Abby is relieved to be in a place where no one knows her tragic history. But when she meets aspiring documentary filmmaker Ben, tall, outdoorsy, easygoing, with eyes that don't miss a thing, she's thrown off her game. Ben's the kind of guy who loves to figure out people's stories. What if he learns hers? So this is a realistic fiction, medical, probably a little sad, very tragic, with a little bit of romance thrown in. Fade into the Bright by Jessica Coused-Edding and Alyssa Embry Schwartz. So those are our new books this week. I hope that you'll come in and check them out. And check out all of our other books. We've got some great books on the shelves. If you're looking for anything in particular, give me a call, send me an email, stop in and ask for it. I'm happy to help. And I will see you guys as soon as I have some more books to share. Have a great week.